What's up, YouTubers? It's Kevin here with another deck profile. As you probably guess, something involving with Machinas. Obviously. Anyway, now we're going to start off with the monsters of the deck. So, for starters, we have 3 Machina Fortresses. Good card in the deck in general. Next, we have 2 Machina Cannon. It's something to add to hand when this guy's in the grave. You might understand that now. And the one that adds them both to hand. 3 Machina Gear Frames. Very good card in general. All of them are good cards. Now, that's all the Machinas that I have in the deck. Now, let's move on to the Geargia stuff. For starters, we have 3 Geargia armor. 1100 attack points, 1900 defense, once per turn. When it's flipped face up, not once per turn, it's flipped face up. You can flip this card face up to add 1 Geargia monster except him from your deck to your hand. And once per turn, you can flip this card face down. That's a second effect. Now, next we have 3 Geargia Accelerators, which is usually one of the cards that you'd want to add to hand with its effect. Next we have 1 Geargia Arsenal. Good card in general. Next, 3 Geargiano Mark II. Very good card. Level 3, 1000 attack, 500 defense. When you normal this card, you can special summon 1 Geargia monster from your hand face up defense position. That's its effect. 2 Geargiano, 1's proxy if you can't see it. And that's it for all the Geargia stuff. Last machine type that I have is a Swift Scarecrow. Good for stalling you out for 1 turn. And 2 effect failures. The spellcaster types that I have left. That's all the monsters. On to the spells. I will start with the staples. I have 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Monster Reborn, 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, and 1 Dark Hole. Yes, that's all the staples that I have for spells. Then next we'll start off with 2 Dualities. Good card in general. 1 Pot of Evers. And 1 Limiter Removal. Doubles the attack of all face-up machines. And then at the end phase, destroy them all. And last but not least, 2 Book of Titan. I'll explain these all later if you don't know. And I'm going to finish off with the traps. I have 2 Mirror Force. I have 1 Starlight Road, 1 Solemn Warning, 1 Solemn Judgment, and 1 Dimensional Prison. Now, one of the rules that I like to follow is that I don't like to show you my extra deck. So, the plan that I decided to do is suggest some cards that you should run in the extra deck. And I have them all right here. So, let's move these all to the side, and I'll start off with this guy, big guy, number 11. He's a spellcaster XYZ effect monster. You got 2 fortresses, let's say, and your opponent has a 5k hitter on the field, or something else, if anything. You can easily, basically, overlay into this guy and detach 1, take control of that 5k hitter, or that monster that's so OP that you can't get over it. You can take control of it at the cost that he doesn't attack that turn. So it's a very good card, and I would suggest it in any deck that involves level 7s. Okay, on to the next one. Thunderspark, number 91. Thunderspark Dragon, I should say, sorry. But, yeah, once per turn, detach all 3, because he takes 3 level 4s. So detach all 3 of them to destroy all face-up monsters on the field except him. So you have an easy 24 beat stick sitting on the field. And as long as your opponent can't get over it, such as playing a Mirror Force or anything, you have an easy 24 direct attack to your opponent. And it's good if your opponent swarms the field before you do, giving yourself an extra chance and an extra advantage at coming up with a second plan to go over it. Anyway, another one that I would suggest is 1 Shockmaster, number 16. You could run more than 1 if you have more than 1. It's up to you. You're making the extra deck your own way. I don't want you to copy mine. That's why I don't want to show you. But these are just some cards that I would suggest. He's a fairy, XYZ effect. He takes 3 level 4s. Once per turn, you can choose either monster, spell, or trap. And yeah, when you choose a monster, spell, or trap card, you and your opponent cannot play them, or your monster's effects won't go off until your opponent's next turn. Until the end of your opponent's next turn. Sorry. And obviously, the one that I would suggest running, period, is Geargia X. Many people say, he's okay. But I'm like, no. If you read his effect, he's not really that. He's better than okay. He's amazing. Now, what you can do is to detach one from him to add a level 4 or lower machine type monster from your deck directly to your hand. So it's a good card to use. Very good card. You can add from your graveyard too. So if you detach one with its effect, well look, I can add it back to hand. Amazing combo, works well. You can get 3 of these out in one turn pretty easily, and that's what I'm going to show you in a few minutes. So, hold your horses there, everyone. One Fairy King. One I would suggest. You don't have to run one, but you can run more than one. Sorry, I'm moving the camera too much. I'm holding it right now. So, yeah, kind of multitasking. But, yeah, you can run more than one. It's up to you. But its effect works very well in this deck in general because of the fact you run a ton of Earth monsters. So you can overlay into him easily. He takes 2 level 4 Earth monsters. And you can detach one once per turn from him to basically any non-Earth monster on the field will lose 500 attack and defense until the end. No, it's currently on the field. You'll lose 500 attack and defense. Next one is a wind-up Zenmain. Since you run a ton of level 3s in this deck, or if you don't want to, you don't have to run him. It's an option. The thing about Geargias, the only ones that you have to run is Armor, Arsenal, and Accelerator. That's it. You don't have to run Geargiano or Geargiano Mark II. I just run them because I want to run all the Geargias. And I like them all. And I think they're very useful and very helpful. But if you can get 3 of these out in one turn, pretty impressive, and your opponent won't be able to get over your field. They'll have to use all their monsters to basically wipe you out. And that's it. But basically he's 1500 attack, 2100 defense. If he's ever being destroyed, period, detach one instead. And then if he stays on the field until the end phase, then guess what you can do? You can destroy a card on the field. So imagine having 3 of them out. Imagine they dark hole. Detach one from each of them. And then at the end, if they're still there, you can destroy 3 cards on the field during each of their effects. And that's all the stuff that I'm going to show you. Now on to, let me get ready, on to showing you how this strategy would work with the Geargia Dexes and OTKing them. Let me get some room here. So let me choose the cards that I want to add to hand. So let's say you get unlimited removal in hand. Sorry, it's hard working with one hand. Let's say you get 2 Bukatayu, so that's 3 cards. You get an armor. You get 1 Geargia armor. And you get 1 Geargiano Mark II. Okay, so that's your hand, and let's say you draw into an Accelerator. A Geargiano. There we go. So let's say you draw into these. This is all the cards that you have in hand right now. 4, 5, 6. You drew into him. Now what you can do, start off, set him face down. Next one that you can do is to play Bukatayu. That will flip him face up. His effect goes off. Let me just put all 3 of these accelerators on the side here. Whoopsie. Didn't see this. So, because of its effect, you can add a Geargia monster from your deck to your hand, except him. Now, you can use his effect to flip him face down again. And then, oh look, you have a second one in hand. Guess what? Play it again. Flip him face up, add a second one to hand. Now, you can't use his effect of flipping him face down. So, what you can do, if you want... Now, I forgot all about that. You have one engraved, let's just say. Let's say you ditched it to special a fortress. Let's just say you ditched it to get a fortress out. Now, one thing that you can do is you could, but instead you're going to special one. And why not special another? Now, the plan is to overlay these two into one Geargia text. So now you have enough room to basically detach one. Wrong one, sorry. My apologies. Detach one, add it back to hand. You could just normal a Geargiano. You could just normal a Geargiano, just that way you can have another one out. So that way you could special the other one and overlay to a second one. And now you can use its effect, attributing it to special that one in defense. Its effects are negated, yes, but it's still a Geargia monster. Now you can use this Geargia Dex's effect, detaching, adding this one back to hand. Now you can special and overlay, obviously, into a third one. Now, if you just want to be funny, you can detach one from that one to add a gear frame to hand, just because you feel like doing it. And then you want to normal it. And you want to just get... Now let's just say there's another one engraved because it was destroyed. So you add a cannon to hand. And just because you want to have enough room for it, equip it to a Geargia text. Doesn't matter. Now you ditch the cannon for a second fortress. You still have that Mark II in hand. You still have the limiter removal hand. Now if your opponent has nothing on the field, or they do, and they can get over any of these 23 and 25 hitters on the field, then you play limiter removal. They become 5k. They become 46. So, unless they have 5k hitters on the field, they can't get over them. Not to mention the fact that if they have malefic Cyberends or regular Cyberends on the field, wipe them out with these three, and then swing at them with these two for game. Basically, it's an easy win situation when you have it, and you still have one more card in hand, and that's Mark II. And that's saved in case your opponent wipes your field somehow. But now, if your opponent's field is completely clear, nothing's there, then you have an opportunity to just swing at them with everything you've got. Anyway, that's my deck right now. Machina Geargia. Hope you like it. Like, comment, subscribe to Team Unexpected 4. I have to thank my friends once again for helping me out with this deck. Couldn't have done it without them. And like to thank a few other people for helping me put this deck together. And peace, love, always to you all. Thank you.